definitely won't want to sleep on this one. Put your feet up and watch for some great highlights. Really, watch. Get with your best buddy as we bring you all the flushes, the knockout blows, and those shots that aren't allowed in our house. Sportsnight is next.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Sportsnight. I'm Joe Young.
And I'm Howie Shapiro. Joe, you know, it feels like it's been like since 2019 that we've done a show, a Sportsnight. It's been that long.
It has. Yeah. It has. I know we promised that we would do one last weekend and not skip a week, but the weather was a little bad there last Monday.
It was.
Howie's limo driver couldn't get him over.
I even tried to pay him double, but he wouldn't pick me up.
My makeup artist wasn't available, and trust me, you don't want to see this without makeup.
Oh, my God. Well, she didn't have enough time to get you ready.
What we'll do is we'll do 2 weeks worth of scores and results. We didn't get the cameras on a lot. Let's face it, a lot of teams out of town for tournaments, so not a chance for us to get a ton of highlights. We do have some, and we will definitely show them to you, get all caught up as we head into 2020. We start with the boys hockey team. They finished 2019 going to the Heritage Holiday Classic up in Duluth. Opening round loss to Owatonna 8-1. Joey Klinzing getting his first career goal. Connor Wise made 45 saves. Cardinals outshot 53-12. On Friday, the Cardinals lost to Mankato West 6-0. Aaron Young got the start, made 23 saves, gave up 6 goals in 2 periods. Connor Wise came in and stopped all 11 he saw during running time. Outshot 40-20. On Saturday morning, the Cardinals played the Apple Valley Eagles and heavily outshot, but a great game by Connor Wise, made 54 saves, keep him in it to the end. Jordan Blakowiak getting his first career goal, but the Cardinals fall 3-1.
Yeah, I mean, again, it was a tough stretch. You were there, obviously. Tough stretch for the boys.
They were outshot a lot to a little, outscored a lot to a little, outscored 17-2. But you got to keep moving forward. The Cardinals return to conference action on Saturday, facing another team coming off a rough outing in its holiday tournament. The Spring Lake Panthers had lost 4 straight games, including being outscored 20-1 in the Herb Brooks Holiday Classic in St. Cloud. Both teams were looking at this game as an opportunity to end their losing streak. Cardinals start the scoring in the first. Kamani Poor pitchforks it into the Panthers' end. Caden Carey races onto the loose puck. Quick shot to the 5-hole. It's 1-0 home team. Carey's first career goal. Middle of the first, Cardinals turn it over on the breakout. Great spinning backhand pass for the spinning backhand shot. Brock Nelson able to poke home his own rebound. It's tied at 1. Cards get it back quickly, though. Less than a minute later, Jake Corey holds it at the blue line. Wrist shot through traffic. Top shelf. Coon Rapids up 2-1. Jake's team high 4th of the season. Panthers evened it up late in the first, and they take the lead early in the second. Shorthanded rush by Wyatt Noble puts a shot on. Mishandled and miscommunicated. Sam Cruckton pokes home the loose puck. Things unravel from there. Bad clear attempt, knocked down in the slot. Spinning shot by Jacob Fritz. Larson right there for the rebound. Panthers scored 6 unanswered as we move into the final period. Jake Van Hulsen floats it over the defense. Kamani Poor wins the race, buries the biscuit. The one bright spot, Kumani factored into all 3 goals for the Cardinals. The sophomore leads the team with 7 points, but the onslaught continued at the other end. The Panthers lit the lamp 9 times, including 2 hat tricks. And
that was a tough one.
The Cardinals lose 9-3.
That was a tough one. Obviously, Spring Lake Park got healthy off of, at the expense of the Cardinals. And, when we talked to Coach Frack before the game, I talked to him too, and we had an opportunity to talk about the matchup. They felt they had the opportunity to get a win in this game. And, just 5 wins on the season for the Panthers, but they, hung with them in the first period. And unfortunately for the Cardinals, the scoring started to come from the Panthers.
Well, and things unraveled. It snowballed as mistakes were made. One of the not a pretty game to watch.
No,
and I thought probably not as good as any game that they played over the weekend, but. It goes back to that same thing, the confidence piece and the effort and in taking the action to the other team. Got to be able to do that against these teams that are in the middle of the pack, the Spring Lake Parks, the Ossios, teams of that caliber. They've got to be able to play a little more time in the offensive end. Cardinals will host Tuesday on They'll host Osseo on Tuesday. They're at Armstrong on Thursday, and they host Maple Grove on Saturday. So 3 straight conference games. I'm sorry, Armstrong Cooper is no longer a conference game, but a couple of conference games, 3 games in 6 days. No time to rest. They just have to get back at it. And again, try and take the fight to the other team. Girls hockey team played its holiday tournament in South St. Paul at the Kaposia Classic, and they started against a familiar foe, Elk River Zimmerman, and able to outdo them 2-1 in overtime. Molly Terabeza had both goals for the Cardinals. Ness and Delaney Johnson getting assists. Elia Johnson made 19 saves to get the win. On Friday, they fell to Egan, another hard-fought game, losing 3-2. Sarah McClellan had a goal and an assist. Molly Terabeza added another one. Elia Johnson made 20 saves, but the Bluebirds come up short, losing 3-2 and miss out on a chance to go to the championship round.
Well, you know, those Bluebirds still had a chance to play for some hardware on Saturday, but it wouldn't be easy. The Roseville Raiders were struggling a bit after a great start to their season, but they're really good defensive teams that played a lot of close games, so every goal would be crucial. The Bluebirds had only one chance on the power play, but they take advantage. Kylie Scott rips the wrister to the webbing to give Champlin Park Coon Rapids the only goal of the first period. Opening shift of the second, clear attempt hits Ali Granovsky, circles right, back to the zone for the shot, slips it past the keeper of the blocker of Johnson, and the game is tied. Same score into the third. Great hustle by Molly Terabeza, dumping, chasing, then centering. Delaney Johnson sends it past the keeper. The Bluebirds are back in front. Coming up, Roseville on the power play. Midway through the third, centering pass, Brooke Burns is able to wrist shot as she scores on the short side, and it's back to even. Bluebirds answer less than a minute later. Nice scissor pass along the near board. Great pass by Kylie Scott, redirected by Delaney Johnson. Her second of the game turns out to be the game winner. Bluebirds are going to take the third place hardware with a 3-2 win. Nice win for them.
Yes, it was. And they started the new year with a visit from the Lumberjacks last Thursday. Cloquet Esco Carlton was 11-2 and ranked 3rd in Single A. So it was going to be another tough, hard-fought battle where the tide could turn on any shift. Bluebirds flying in the first period. Great end-to-end passing to spring Delaney Johnson behind the defense. She buries it before sliding into the net herself. She puts CPCR on the board first. But the Lumberjacks answer short-handed. Kiana Bender draws 2 defenders, sends it toward the slot. Taylor Nelson walking in alone. She snipes it top shelf. Just 2 shots from CEC in the first, but that one was money. Final minute, Delaney Johnson weaves her way through the Lumberjacks, then shows her real skill. Unbelievable shot. Short side from a sick angle, bar down, 2-1 Bluebirds. Late in the second, long pass deflects right to Bender. She's behind the defense. She beats Johnson with a wrist shot, and it's all tied at 2 after 2. That type line is just so good. Hard to stop once they get going. Bender again slides it to Nelson. Back to Bender for the redirect. Lumberjacks take the lead. They add one more after that and go on to the 4-2 win. Bender factored into all 4 of their goals, and that's a really tough line. We knew going into that game that top line could produce some points, and the Bluebirds kept them in check through the first period, but just too much down the stretch.
And they're a good club, 11 wins on the season, you know, and I think the Bluebirds are looking at who have they played. And I think they played Anoka early, and obviously
they lost to Anoka Spring Lake Park, while the Bluebirds have beaten them twice.
Yep.
But it's a pretty good line.
Yeah, you can't stop that first line. That gives them a chance. Obviously, if you stop that first line, they didn't have a lot after that, but give credit to them. They got a nice 4-2 win.
Yep. Cardinals had Cambridge Isani at the Crick on Saturday. It was senior night, and the Bluebirds, got a big win, 7-1 over the team from Cambridge Isani. Abby Ness had 5 points, 2 goals, 3 assists. Molly Terabeza, a goal and 3 assists. Delaney Johnson, just a 3-point night for her with 2 goals and an assist. And Holly Johnson had the other goal. Elia Johnson made 13 saves and gave up just the 1 goal. And they roll on They've got, Osseo Park Center on Tuesday, and then they're at Dodge County on Saturday. Both of those games on the road. Wrestling team on 2 weekends ago, at last weekend of 2019, they were up in Fargo for the Rumble on the Red. 13th place finish is very respectable for that tournament. Only a couple of guys able to place, but a 13th place finish as a team is very respectable. Gavin Layton having a monster year. A 4-0 with 3 pins and a major decision to get himself the 285-pound title. Nick Lattery had an 8th place finish, went 3 for 3 with a pin. Some of the other notables, Elijah Medimba, Demetrius Seals, Zach Thomas, and Riley Hargrave, all finishing at least 500 or better in that tournament. Then this past Saturday, they were in Farmington for the Coda Classic duels. They started by beating United South Central. That was a weird one. 8 forfeits in that one. The matches that actually went to the mat finished 3-3. Coon Rapids, though, beating Bloomington Kennedy 47-25 before losing to a very tough Farmington team, the host of the event, 41-31. And then in the final event of the day, they lose a nail-biter to Chatfield, 36-32. But some of the more notable finishes, D-Mov at 113 pounds was 4-0 with 2 pins and a tech fall. Nick Lattery was undefeated at 132 pounds, 3-0 with a couple of pins. Jones at 152 just had to wrestle twice because there were a lot of forfeits throughout the day. He was 2-0 with both by pin, and so was Gavin Layton at 285. Gavin Layton is very exciting.
He's had a phenomenal season.
He has had a great start to the year. Coming into the year, he was the only ranked wrestler for the Cardinals, and he has done nothing but move up. He's just a junior, but he is having a phenomenal year. A lot of his matches not making it out of the first round.
No, and you know, the one we did earlier in the year, of course, Hargrave had that huge pin, and then he came back to get the win over Blaine, and that was a big one as well.
Well, they've got a huge match coming up on Friday. The Battle for the Golden Shoes. They host the Anoka Tornadoes. It's alumni night at Roger E. Carlson Fieldhouse. Come out and support the Cardinals, and you could get a selfie with Howie Shapiro.
Oh.
He will be there, as will I.
No question.
And then on Saturday, they head to Stillwater for a duels tournament there. Gymnastics team has had the last couple of weeks off. They return to action on Saturday at Blaine, and then they are at Champlin Park along with Centennial next Monday. Now we can go to the swimming and diving. Their one event over the last couple of weeks was the maroon and gold. Interestingly, they were in the gold division this year. Typically, they had been in the maroon division, sometimes even in the bronze division. This year, with the top teams in the state, and the Cardinals finished 12th, which is not last place in the gold division, but it really showed how good some of these teams are. Cardinals finished with 38 points. The winner, Edina, how many points? Just throw a guess out there. Cardinals have 38. I love putting them on the spot.
140.
529.
Oh, are you about the total? The end? I was thinking. Okay.
Actually, Edina won. There was a team from Omaha, Nebraska came all the way up to compete in the maroon and gold. They were in second place. But there are some of the better finishes. Tyler Schultz with an 11th place finish in the 200 breast, 16th in the 100 breast. Jack Simmer was 13th off the board. Matt Struess 19th in the 100 back and 23rd in the 100 fly. And Coach Donaldson said, you know, the times were pretty good. He felt pretty good about the way they wrestled, but most importantly, boys got to see what it was like to race in a big event like that with the huge atmosphere and seeing what kind of numbers and times the other teams are able to put up.
Yeah, Coach Johnson's probably going to scold me for guessing so low. I should have thought a little bit harder, but you did put me on the spot.
I did. I loved it. They have a huge week this week. They're at Centennial on Tuesday, at Spring Lake Park on Thursday. Centennial, another one of those teams they haven't beaten in a long time. If they can put it all together, who knows what might happen.
Hope so.
The Nordic skiing and diving team was up in Giants Ridge for the Mesabi Invite on the 4th. They had to actually cancel their winter camp the weekend before because of the ice storm. but got back into action with the Mesabi Invite. There's like 52 or 54 teams involved in this event. It's the largest Nordic skiing event in the country. The boys Cardinals finished in 13th place.
Nice.
Josh Thoen with the best finish, 15th place in the Classic. Miles Gilliard was 79th, and Ricky Petrov 84th in the Classic. In the freestyle, they fared a little bit better. Jared Haida was 30th place. Noah Christensen 35th, and Aaron Casey finished in 47th. Girls, a pretty solid showing as well in 26th place, right in the middle of the pack. Abby Ellenbecker, no surprise, a great finish for her. 3rd place in the Classic in a time of 18:15.5. Lila Gilliard and Akayla Lowe, the other two Classic competitors for the Cardinals. That's not correct. They didn't all also have the same finishing sometimes in the freestyle. Give me 2 seconds. One. And
2.
Josie Ingvoldson was their top freestyler, 90th place. Issa Hoagland was 119th, and Bloomberg finished in 137th. They returned to Northwest Suburban Conference action this week with a 5K Classic race at Elm Creek. And then next week, they have a 5K skate, and that will also be at Elm Creek. The weather, of course, is now once again kind of messing with the Nordic team.
It really is.
At least we've had snow all year.
We have.
And there's a good base there, but the warmer temps has turned it into ice, and really hard, icy packed snow
is fun.
Not very easy to move on, especially actually for the skate races. So that's changing things. Any fresh, fluffy stuff going to show up for them in the
I don't
next
think
week
so,
or
although it's going to be cold the next couple of days. But then by Thursday, it's going to get up to 40.
Ah.
So, just the way the maps are, working out. And if I had that green screen behind me, I could show you a little bit more. But unfortunately.
We had to sell that along with the radar.
But we did get the helicopter back.
We did?
Oh, yeah. It's on the roof.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, I'll take you for a ride later.
All right. The Alpine ski team has their second race of the year on Thursday, and then next week will be race number 3.
Okay. It's my turn again.
It is your turn.
All right. Well,
at long last.
Finally. The boys basketball team closed out 2019 hosting their annual Coon Rapids Invitational. They started Friday night taking on St. Paul Como Park. Well, the Cougars, they were still looking for their first win of the season at 0-5, and the Cardinals weren't about to let that happen against them in their own tournament. The Cards took control in the first half and dominated the second half to get a convincing win. Cardinals' defensive pressure paying off early. MJ Galama will get the steal. Then on the break, the two-handed jam. Galama, one of 4 Cardinals in double digits in the game. Well, Cougars stay close for a while, but the Cardinals start to take over late in the half. Jackson Aurelius takes the distance, gets the bump and the basket. Coon Rapids up 10 at the break. Going to move early to the second. Jordan Doe with the steal in the defensive end, down court to Aurelius. He gets to Jaden Palmer all alone for the basket. Palmer had 9 in the game. More big defense coming up here. This time Galma getting it up for the block, and then getting it up the court to Jordan Doe for the fast break basket. Season high 16 points for Jordan Doe. Now scoring in transition again. Palmer jumps on the loose ball, gets it to Galma on the run. MJ kicks it back to Talon Elmy with a wide open look, one of his 3 three-pointers. Elmy had 20, and the Cardinals coast to the 90-53 win.
Well, the challenge got a bit more difficult on Saturday night, and it also gets a little more difficult for me because I pasted the wrong script in. So we're going completely by memory. But they did play the Mounds View Mustangs, who came into this as an undefeated team that would give the Cardinals all kind of fits. They're a hot shooting team. The Cardinals just had to try and keep pace. The Cardinals 1-3-1 defense gave them a little bit of trouble, but they were able to push through it. Henches, the two-handed jam, they got out to a big lead early, but the Cardinals able to keep at it and keep whittling away at it. Jackson Aurelius, good strong move inside, gets the basket. Cardinals cut the lead back to within 6 at the half. Great save by Elmy. Down court for the one-handed jam by Aurelius. He had a relatively nice game. This was late, though, after the Mounds View Mustangs had retaken the lead. Galama had a nice game, cut to the lane. I think he finished with 7, but just too many big shooters. They had a couple of guys that could just absolutely shoot the lights out, and they did. They finished with, I think, 11 as a team, 11 three-pointers as a team in the game. Had one guy with 20 and one guy with 18, and they were kind of able to run away with it at the end.
Yeah, they were undefeated coming in, and they're a good ball club. And the Cardinals, kept it interesting for a little while, but Mounds View did, as you mentioned, did a nice job from the perimeter, did a really good job of opening up that lead, and once they did, they were able to capture it and get the win.
Well, and a known issue with the 1-3-1 defense, it's so good at keeping teams from getting down court and getting set up, and once they do it, they have multiple three-point threats. It's really hard to stay in that defense and try and defend wide against multiple shooting threats, and they certainly had them. Cardinals have had a week or so off now and return to action on the road against Spring Lake Park on Tuesday. They will host Champlin Park on Thursday. Girls basketball team was in Fergus Falls for its holiday tournament. It started against the hosts, and they lose 55-37. Ellie Georgie had 12 points. Jenny and Tomway added 10. Kylie Hetwer had 5. Macy Holland and Rowan Tom each had 3. And then on Saturday, the Cardinals took on Crookston. They lose a tight one, 74-69. Good offensive production, but coming up just short in a tight basketball game. Cardinals finally, though, able to break a long losing streak by hosting my alma mater last Saturday night, and they beat the Lakers 58-38. Jenny and Tomway leading the way with 17 points. Sid Kerr had 13, Nicole Post 8, and Benny Kalala had 5. Cardinals now 2-9 on the season. And Howie?
A little tough to see your alumni on the other end of that scar? Nah.
Yeah.
Little bit of sweet.
Well, I still love the purple and white.
Of course, you have to. It's your alma mater.
But I bleed Cardinal red. So I'm glad that the girls could get the win. They definitely need it as they turn into 2020, trying to gain some momentum. They host Spring Lake Park on Tuesday, and then right back into the Lions' Den as they head to Champlin on Thursday. And, that's the way it is for all of these teams, though. So many great programs throughout the entire schedule.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a matter of, who you match up well, and, different teams match up differently with other squads. But you're right, there are so many good teams in this conference alone that you play, not minding the non-conference guys you play or teams you play.
Well, we've got some conference action for you here on CTN this week. Girls basketball against Spring Lake Park on Tuesday, a big one. Anoka against Coon Rapids frequently is the deciding factor in who wins the Northwest Suburban Conference. Not to mention, Cardinals, after a long dry spell, want to get those golden shoes back to Coon Rapids High School. Then we'll see the Tornadoes and the Cardinals again, but this time on the basketball court. That's a week from Tuesday, and all of those live here on CTN. But that's going to do it for this edition of Sports Night. I want to thank everybody out there for joining us and continue to support everything we do here at CTN. For the entire crew, including Howie Shapiro, I'm Joe Young, saying good night.